Alright, so this video is a little later than I expected because I had baccalaureate today for graduation, which is why I'm in a dress and my hair is partially straightened and all that goodness. But, okay, first off, I want to say I'm not like an advice guru. Like, I get questions, but I'm 18 years old. What do I really know about anything? I really don't. But nonetheless, I love getting asks for videos because it kind of gives me something to do with my life. And I kind of try to put these into perspective the way I see them. And hopefully, since this is my blog, one day I'll go back and I'll look at this and I'll either think, oh, you had no effing idea what you're saying at all. Or I'll come back and look at it and be like, oh, you know, maybe you weren't so bad when you were 18 years old. But anyway, that being said, I got asked what I think the most important things are in a relationship. The way I see things, the first thing that comes to mind is communication. There's too many times, even in friendships, that you'll have conversations with people but you won't say what you need to say. You know, like they'll sit down, you'll have a serious conversation, they'll ask you for advice or they'll tell you what's going on in their lives and you won't say what you want to say, what you need to say because you're scared either to offend them or to make them mad or that you'll get some, you know, reaction out of them that you didn't want. And that translates over to relationships. You know, maybe the other person does something that drives you absolutely crazy. Like maybe they're still texting their ex, or maybe they're hanging out with people that you don't think are good for them. You know, I mean, I don't know what the situation is, but a lot of times, especially, I'm the kind of person also that I keep things to myself. If something bothers me about you, like if you're doing something that bothers me, or if you know, say something to me that offends me, I won't say anything just because I don't want to come off as controlling or I don't want to start an argument. But over time, those things build up, and eventually it leads to breakdowns in so many relationships that I've seen. So communication is a big one. Communication is what a lot of relationships rely on to get by. Without it, what kind of relationship do you really have? If you don't talk about the deep things in life, if you can't sit down and talk to the person that you're in a relationship with about what's important to you in life, or what you're scared of, or what you're nervous about, like the stuff, the deep stuff, the stuff that, you know, you think about when you lay down at night. If you can't talk to that person about that, then I'm not really sure what kind of a relationship you have, what extent your relationship reaches. Secondly, trust is big to me. How can you date someone that you don't trust? You know, you see relationships with their crazy girlfriends where they're going out and they're checking, you know, their boyfriend, girlfriend's phone for text messages. They're going through their Facebook, through their Twitter, through their Tumblr. I mean, what kind of basis is that for a relationship? If you can't trust them to go out, or if you can't trust them to talk to someone, have friends, that's bad. I mean, you're not going to have a good relationship at all. You're always going to be wondering if they're cheating on you, if they're being faithful, and that's just going to lead to more thoughts. It's going to build up. And again, that also goes back to communication. If you have to express these things, or else they just build up, turn into fights, and fights turn into breakups. Respect and understanding is big to me. Everyone's different, and not everyone's going to get along on everything. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree. Sometimes you're going to see things differently, especially when it comes down to controversial things. You know, maybe it's political debates, political standpoints, or point of views. Maybe it's religion. Maybe it's I don't know, how y'all think y'all should manage the money, depending on where y'all are in y'all's relationship. But it comes to a point you have to agree to disagree sometimes. You also have to understand the other person. You know, like I said, with me, I keep things to myself, and when I'm angry, I'd rather just be left alone. And if I'm in a relationship, I need the other person to understand. You coming and talking to me while I'm angry is only going to make me say things that I don't mean. So I need to be left alone. You need to understand that if I don't talk to you, then I just need to cool my head and I'll come talk to you when I'm ready. You know, at the same time, you need to understand if someone is, you know, really talkative or always wants to talk to you about things, then you need to understand that you're that person for them. Everyone's personalities are different, and to be in a relationship with someone, you're not going to be the same. You have to understand how they work. Lastly, relationships, the way I see them, relationships, you're building them up, It's not just supposed to be like, oh, like we hold hands and we like each other and whatever. That's how it starts off, but all relationships to me are meant to build up to love. I don't see the point of being in a relationship if I don't see myself loving that person, in the future. Like I said, it takes time, because love, I don't, love at first sight, I don't really believe in. I believe in infatuation at first sight, because love, the implications of love are so much greater than just being able to look at someone and say that you love them. To love someone, you have to know, their idiosyncrasies, what makes them tick, their habits, what they think, how they think, what they like, what they don't like, and their flaws and their imperfections, and then the good things about them. That's what love is, and that's what it amounts to. So to me, every relationship also comes down to love eventually. If there's no love, if you've been with someone for a while and you still don't love them, maybe you're better off as friends. Maybe you still maybe you're still developing feelings. But to me, every relationship eventually comes down to love. That's just the way I see things. I mean, I'm not in a relationship right now, so it's not like I'm speaking like, oh, this is what's important to me right now. But when I do get in a relationship, those are the most important things to me, and that's how I see it. So, yeah.